So the next up, I got these off an auction. I'm bidding on this auction, and he makes a lot where it's Cool Spot for the Super Nintendo. Now I have the Sega Genesis one. I just recently mentioned that in one of my, maybe my most recent video, whatever video it was. I had Cool Spot for the Genesis as a kid. I never got to play Cool Spot for the SNES. I don't know if it's an exact port or if there's different levels or what, so I'm gonna have to check that out and see how it differs. And then the next game, another game I've never tried, is Cool Spot for the NES. And I don't know, it kind of looks like some kind of Connect 4 type game. I'm not there might be a name for the type of game it is, but I don't know. It just we got to get them all. So I mean, I don't think it's a game I'm necessarily ever going to play again, other than to have tested the cart. But we got to get them all. So, and the next game up is Alien 3. This is another game that I never played. It's LGN, so I don't know if it's going to be good or bad or mediocre or what. I've never seen footage of this game or anything, so gonna have to try that one out. So next up, one I've been looking for a while, because I've been wanting to try this out to see if it was any good. G.I. Joe. I had the other G.I. Joe, you know, the purple one, what is it, the Atlantis Factor, and I've been trying to get this one because I've been told that this is the better one out of the two. Made by, let's see, Texan, Hasbro. So I've never played this game. I haven't even tried to emulate it. So this is gonna be cool when I finally get to try this one out. And then last for the NES, we have Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Now, you know, I wish I could go into great detail about how nostalgic, you know, this game is for me or whatever, but the truth is, I didn't get into Star Wars, or Star Wars games for that matter, until I was well into, maybe, I might have been 18, 19. Matter of fact, whatever year Revenge of the Sith was gonna come out, that was the year I watched every one of them. I watched the old ones first, and then I watched the prequels 1, 2, and 3. So, to me, I kind of watched them in the right order at least. But, I don't know, for some reason when I was a kid, it just bored me. There was too much dialogue, and it was like, and I was this like annoying ADD kid, so it couldn't keep my attention. I didn't have the attention span to sit there and pay attention to it. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I was able to appreciate the movies. And then I kind of got into the video games and stuff. But this is one I never had, never emulated it or anything, so I have no idea if it's a good game, bad game, or anything yet. So then next up, I had traded in some stuff at GameStop to be able to get a couple of games. And I can already say that I regret getting this one. This is Assassin's Creed Origins. I was kind of hoping that it would be a better game. I'm only really about 30 minutes into it, but to me, I don't care for it. I'll just leave it at that. One thing I have been playing a lot of, and it's my son's copy of the game, so I'm always kind of bogarting his copy. So I finally, it was like $10, so I finally got it with the stuff I traded in, and that's Grand Theft Auto 5. So finally got that game, and I really like the storyline. I don't know anything. It's probably since I'm a kid and I like the movie Point Break, and Heat. Anything about bank robbing, heists, I just love storylines about that sort of stuff. So to me, this was an awesome story in here, and I like playing all the missions and stuff. So I finally got that one. I should have gotten it for the Xbox One, because that's what all my save files are, but somehow I screwed that up. And then the next one was the newest God of War, and I'm probably going to make a review video of this, because I don't know what to say. I don't want to say too much about it, because like I said, I do want to make a review, but I find this game kind of provokes thought in you, no matter what. No matter what. If you hate it, you love it, you thought it was just meh, I find it provokes or invokes some sort of thought in you, and I don't find that's super common in today's generation of video games. Now, I will say, if you were worried about, this PC movement affecting this franchise, I would have to say very clearly it did, but I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing, because while it ultimately, I don't know if they figured they couldn't show, this man that, or God or whatever, that just didn't give a fuck about anyone or anything. I don't know if they just felt they couldn't do that, or they felt like the character needed to change. But either way, if you accept the changing of the character, it's not really mired in a bunch of identity politics. The storyline. There's not a bunch of people complaining about this political issue or that political issue in the game itself. So I'd say the only sort of political thing you can say from this is to actually change the character. But it's a really good game. It takes a long time for it to open up, but once it does get started, it's a pretty good game. It's at least worth trying out and then just selling it back or whatever. It's worth playing. So then I got a few games from my buddy Brian. He auctions a bunch of toys in one of these toy groups that I'm in on Facebook. And he had a few games that I wanted, and he kind of sold them to me on the side. Let's see. I'm a huge Terminator fan, and I know that these games are probably going to be crap, but never played them. We've got Terminator Dawn of Fate for the PlayStation 2. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. So those are the two Terminator games I got. And then I got Ultimate Spider-Man for the regular Xbox, original Xbox. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 Mutant Nightmare. And I found it was interesting, on the back it says that you can unlock Turtles in Time. Now, I have Turtles in Time for the SNES, but I think they're referring to the arcade port. So I'm expecting it to be like just, a near perfect or perfect arcade port of Turtles in Time. So that's going to be pretty cool. And I never played. I did play Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2. I'd have to say Spider-Man 2 and Ultimate Spider-Man, to me, were the best Spider-Man games they've made so far. I can't remember if Spider-Man 3 was one of those that I really liked. I know I hate QuickTime events. I really, really, really hate QuickTime events. Especially the QuickTime events that are like, you get a boss downed, and you have to press a certain button to initiate killing, dealing the death blow to the boss. And then there's all these little QuickTime events where if you don't hit the correct button, then you have to beat that last little bit of energy off that boss again to get him down and do it all over again until you do the button sequencing right. I hate that, because to me it's like you're immersed in this video game, and it's like, okay, here's you have to acknowledge, like, okay, I'm playing a video game again. You know, it takes you out of that element. I hate QuickTime events because I feel like that's what they do. I think at this point, QuickTime events for the most part are universally hated by everyone, but you know, I could be wrong. But I really do despise them. And then as for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, I never played this one, so I have no idea what to expect. If it's a good game or not, if it's going to be tedious to unlock this arcade port or not. But that's going to do it for all the loose games. We're going to jump into Marlon's box.